Alright, here we go at No Reserve is our hard to find 79 Jeep Cherokee Chief. So it's a factory two-door. The Chiefs only came with a two-door, and what's cool with the Chiefs is they're a lot like basically a two-door Wagoneer. But they have the metal factory fender flares. But this is a project vehicle, runs and drives. Runs really good. We picked it up a couple years ago, and as I mentioned in the ad, we're just did a few things to it to make sure it always fires up and runs good. So we did, new distributor, new carburetor, rebuilt carburetor, full tune-up, starter solenoid, alternator, and a bunch of other things in there. Just at fuel pump, just to make sure it always fires up, and it always fires up, even if it sits for 4 or 5 months. It might take a couple pumps, but once it's warmed up, I'll show you it fires really fast. It's had a bunch of paint jobs, but this is the original color combo. You'll usually have on the bottom, where it's been kind of like a line extra Rhino lined on the factory fender flares, and the bottom, usually those are black, and it'll say, you have a decal that says Chief. But it is gray, but it has had a few paint jobs, and you'll see on the other side, it's kind of like a Mako paint job, so you're going to have your flaking and stuff kind of just throughout. The paint job, definitely is no good. I'll just throw that out there right now. It does have some rust, but it's pretty minimal for these trucks. But I'll get in depth into it. So somebody started sanding down on it on this driver's side. So some people would say maybe the passenger side is the picture side, but this is the original paint right here. So you can see it's had, quite a few coats. Normally I wouldn't do this to a truck, but I've already done it when I bought it. So you can see it's got some pretty thick paint on there. One time it's been orange. And you can see the different layers when you clip one of these off. And some of this bubbling area you might think is rust, but it's actually just the paint. You peel it off and it's just the factory metal under there. So why somebody repainted it at one point, I really don't know, because it looks like it was really decent. So I'll just go all the way around this, and then I'll get in real close and show some rust bubbles and stuff like that. But it's pretty much, besides the paint job that it's had several times over, it's all original. It's original sheet metal, all original interior, original grill, which is in really nice shape. You do have, your wear and stuff like that. A little ding there, but this is soft aluminum, and these little ribs just usually get bent in real easy. So it's a really hard to find piece. It's got its corner lights. These aren't like the Broncos and the K5 Blazers where you can buy everything for these brand new. There is a lot out there on the aftermarket, like you can get brand new decals and stuff like that. But having this stuff, to me, was the hard stuff to find. The rust is mostly in the floorboards in a couple spots. Kind of the areas, to me, my opinion always is, if I'm going to have rust somewhere, I'd kind of like to have it easy spots, like floorboards, maybe the bottom of the door, where you don't really see them, and they can be covered up with Line-X and stuff like that. But like this here, this is just bubbling. You'll get this in a couple places from poor paint and body work. You got your chipping here to the original paint. This is kind of throughout, so just count on chips and paint not being so hot. You can see the top layer has gone to the primer, and again, I'll pull this out. You got the original metal. So I don't want to make it uglier by any stretch, but I want to make sure you see what you're getting. Yeah, it does have like a soft dent right here, but I'll take this, my knife I use to call this the rust checker. But and you can see that this is the paint here. You can see it's nice solid metal. So I hate doing stuff like that, but it is a project truck, so I want to really get in there so you can see what it is. The same here, this is just for bad prep work. You can just hear nice metal. It has been Line-X throughout here. I can see a little bubbling right here, so consider a little bit of rust being right there. Metal, rust makes it a little bit different. But the door corners are the worst you got to do. The nice thing is if you're not the best at body work, or you don't do the best job, decal will go over the top of it and kind of hide it, or you can go back to the Line-X. Or really, you could just paint this thing, go flat black or go camo, scuff it up, do a lift kit, because the bones are there, but it does have some rust in the floorboard right there. The body mounts look to be really good. They got surface rust and stuff like that. But and it's on both sides. It's worse on the passenger side. It's starting on the driver's side. You know, the rain gutter's good. The roof doesn't have a sunroof cut in it. No big holes, no big dents. Nobody had a party up there. But you know, it's a 40, you know, almost a 40-year-old truck. So it does have, you know, your weather stripping, and your windows don't roll down that good, stuff like that. But all your lights work. Clutch feels good. It's a hard to find 4-speed. The rear window goes up and down from the interior switch, but it doesn't go up and down from the switch out here. So, but the tailgate does have some rust, and this is, you can see the bubbling in the paint from just poor prep work, and that's what you're getting up here. The rust lies right down here. So if you can, I'd find a replacement for this tailgate, because to me, you can get one, the tailgate you can get off a Wagoneer for, you know, for probably 2 decades that will work on this thing. So that's going to be a part you can find and outsource. You know, the spare tire cover closes okay, but it is a little loose down here. I'll tighten that up. It's got an aftermarket bumper with a hitch. You know, it's glass isn't cracked. No chips in the glass. You know, the original weather stripping around is looking decent on the rear window. Got a little chip here, and I think that's original glass. This was actually traded in on a new Jeep Cherokee almost about 2 years ago when we purchased it. We got it from a Jeep dealer. So I think they were starting to do some restoration work and just decided to go buy a new one. But I'll take you over here, you know, knock on. It seems really nice and solid. It's been Line-X'd, and all the way in the back area has been Line-X'd. I'll show that. But you know, you got your paint chipping off. It's pretty much sanded all the way down here. Got a little filler here, it sounds like. So you can see it's nice solid metal. It's a little deeper sounding because the Line-X, you know, Line-X has been taken off on the fender flare and on the outside here, so it's kind of why I'd follow with the rest of it, just sand it down. We'll get it blasted, but you can see it's nice metal underneath there. Sounds nice and solid. Got a little rust there. Again, makes that deep sound. You know, no rust. Makes it kind of that deep sound. So, again, you can start to see floorboard starting a little bit. Take you on the inside. Door shut good. Nice gaps. Again, it's just all original, so it's used and worn. The door cards or the door panels, whichever ones you call them, got weathering. Still got its cool original sport steering wheel. It's got the hard to find bucket seats, which are in decent shape actually. This obviously has had some, I call that a country fix. Got the sport steering wheel. Hard to find 4-speed. Feels really good. St. Rose. And I'll take you for a drive too. It's got a little CD player, sounds decent. Still got its Chief emblem, which is cool. Glove box is still in place. Dash pad's in really good shape, except for unfortunately this happened. So you could go through a couple cheap fixes to make it look decent. Rear seat, I think, looks like it's been recovered at some point. You know, the underside of the door's got a little bit of rust going. You can see that. Again, so the floorboards, the front floorboards, the underside of the doors, the front door bottom corners, and the rear tailgate are going to be your issues. You're going to be chasing for some rust. I'll take you underneath here. You can see this isn't as bad as the driver's side, so this is more kind of got some surface rust starting. The rockers seem like they're in really good shape. You know, no rusting up here, no rusting in front of the window, no rusting down here. Again, it's got this Line-X. Hate doing this stuff, but when we got to the point where we were going to get it painted, this is the stuff we were going to do. So you can see it's got that nice original metal, original paint underneath there. So, but the cool thing about this thing is it's got a lot of different ways you can go. You know, you could just address the structural metal on the floorboards, make it an awesome wheeling rig. Guys that know these trucks know the axles are super strong. I'll take you underneath the hood here. Hood opens just like it should, nice and easy. So when we first got it, we did full tune-up, cap, rotor, wires, plugs, new distributor. It's got a rebuilt carburetor, and this was about 2 years ago, so keep this in mind. You know, they do have a little oxidation on them, but almost 0 miles. Did a new starter solenoid, ignition control module. So put a few $100 into it just to make sure it stayed running, and fired up for us, because we like to move them around. And even though we have had about 2 years, we still start them up. You know, it is warmed up, but that's pretty much how it fires up. You know, I'm outside, don't gotta touch the fuel. But we need them running, and I like to keep the fresh fuel in them. Running nice and smooth. It's cool with the factory AC truck. Obviously the AC doesn't work, but these are options that are hard to find for these trucks. So here's your tailgate switch. Window goes down nice and quick. Goes up a little slow. The tailgate, you got to really slam it to latch it, and sometimes it doesn't. So I recommend taking up this panel if you're going to keep this tailgate, juicing up all this stuff and get it cranking again. You got your original mat, which is in good shape throughout the whole truck. The original mat's in good shape. It's been Line-X'd, I think only up to the rear seats, so the rear tub, but it's been Line-X'd, or of some type of bed liner. It might not be Line-X, but it's sprayed pretty thick and heavy. So it's good back here. It's got a roll bar put in it. So all right, this little project Jeep's gonna be going at no reserve. So it'll be a 7-day auction. It's good luck. Alright, here we are in our cold start video of our 78 Jeep Cherokee Chief. It's the 2-door. I'm gonna go ahead and grab hold of the exhaust manifold so you can see it's nice and cold. You know, it's in the 70s, so it's not like I'm starting up in 20, 30 degree weather, but it has been sitting for about 4 or 5 days. I try to fire it up at least once a week, at least take it around property. I've had it for quite a while, so I usually just pump it twice, and she fires right up. You know, if it sits for longer periods of time, if you pump it twice and fire it up, sometimes it'll run for like 30 seconds to die, and then you just hit the gas and fire it up, and it idles right up. But see, it's got a little bit of exhaust leak you can hear, real faint, but it's idling good, no smoke or nothing. It's just over here where we store some of our projects, and you know, we did a lot of stuff to make sure it always runs for us, because I hate vehicles that don't run, because I need to move them around a lot. You know, as mentioned before, it's got a rebuilt carb, new fuel filter, new distributor, cap, rotors, plug, control module, battery. I want to make sure it's just as dependable for me as it is for the next person, and I had full intentions of getting this thing back on the road, with do a paint job and a lift kit and do something cool. But it's just as the months go on, you know, I got more and more projects for us to do, and just need to spin the herd a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and take it for a spin. All right, here we have the 78 Jeep warming up. We've got the four light flashers going. You can see the lights are working. She's getting warmed up. See your bulb on there. Kind of hard to see because of the sun, but not smoking or nothing. I'm gonna take her for just a little spin here. It's a little hot out, so you're gonna have to bear with me having the dang window open, but you know, it's got the blower motor. Makes a little noise at first and then clears out. CD player doesn't turn on. You know, let's see if this AC works actually while I'm doing this. Max AC. It's doubtful, but let's see. I don't even know how sure it works. But you know, glove box opens. The brake light never goes out. I don't think the fuel gauge works. So, alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn the headlights off. I mean, the wipers work, but they're a little crispy, as you can see. Stuff like that. I mean, this is a good project. It's got the 4-speed transmission, of course. I don't know, man, this AC might actually work a little bit. I'm not dying of heat here. It's about 80 degrees, so I got a little bit of something coming on. So first gear's pretty low. You know, it's a great project. You know, I'm just not gonna get to it. You know, I'm like one of those guys that I see something I love. I want to get it back on the road. It does leak a little bit of power steering fluid. Kind of your old truck stuff. It's got fresh fuel in it for the most part, but it does stumble sometimes. You know, it's still relatively cold. You know, I'm in third gear. Got some play in the steering, you know, a little bit, but no cracks in the window. Rearview mirror, I think, is around here somewhere. Give it a little bit of gas. In fourth gear, I mean, goes down the road pretty good, really. I mean, yeah, let's see. I don't know. I mean, if you're in Florida or something, it's probably not gonna feel that great. But I'm getting a little cool down here. It's not too bad. But I'll do a U-turn here. You know, I feel like when I'm going on the road, I hold the steering wheel a little to the left. You know, if it's something that you're planning on hitting the trails with, or kind of want to make it every once in a while a daily driver out of it, you know, I just go over it. We've done a lot of the main stuff to keep it a dependable rig. I usually start out in second gear if I'm on the flats like this. You know, I love this steering wheel. These will sometimes get a couple $100 for these things on eBay. You know, you got some rattles, you know, stuff like that. Gonna give her a little gas. Then fourth gear. So, you know, if you want to take it on the freeway, you know, it goes. You know, I don't want to be speeding around too much. I am down in the commercial district, so nobody's really around too much, but you know, hit a bump in the road there, pothole, it soaks it up pretty good. And got a pretty sharp left corner up here we'll take. Do another U-turn to some gravel. The four-wheel drive works. You know, it's got a lot of potential, but you know, could be a great trail rig, a restoration project. So you can see it's got a tiny bit of stumble when you surprise it. When you jump on it, it does stumble a little bit. So turn on my turn signal, go through these little bumps. So alright, this is going to be a no reserve rig, whether it brings 800 or, you know, 3,000. So good luck, and let me know if you got any